Hi guys, today or this time or whatever, we're gonna be focusing on non-homogeneous method of undetermined coefficient. So we have examples, so we're gonna direct to the examples. So we have y double prime minus 3y prime minus 4y is equal to 30e to the power of x. So as what you can observe, it is a non-homogeneous equation because it doesn't equate to 0. So first thing we must do is transform it into an auxiliary equation. So y double prime is equal to d squared of y, or partial derivative of y dx, partial derivative in term of x, minus 3 partial derivative of y over x in term of x minus 4y, just simply 4y here, is equate it to 0. So in order to get the roots, or in order to make it an auxiliary equation, so these terms is equal to d squared minus 3d minus 4y. No, this would be d sub dy rather, sorry. This would be d squared y minus 3dy minus 4y is equal to 0. So we're gonna factor out the y here, so we're left with d squared minus 3d minus 4 times y is equal to 0. So we have 0. So first we're gonna make it an auxiliary, so this will become m squared minus 3m minus 4. So it is already in quadratic equation, so we're gonna find its roots. So we're gonna think of two number that when we multiply, it will have the product of negative 4, and then if we add them, they will have the sum of negative 3. So those two numbers are this would be negative 4, and then the other one is positive 1. So this would be m and then m. So these are our two factored out terms for this quadratic equation. So first we're gonna equate it to 0, so this will become m minus 4 is equal to 0. So in order to get the value of m, we're gonna have to transpose it to the other side. This will become m is equal to 4. Then the other one also, we're gonna equate it to 0. M plus 1 is equal to 0, so this will become m is equals to negative 1. So this will be our m sub 1 and then m sub 2. Since we already have the roots for the yc, so we in non-homogeneous differential equation method of undetermined coefficient, we are required to find the y, and it is equal to yc plus yp. So we have solved the yc, so just simple, we're just gonna find for its roots, or yeah, for its roots. So we have the yc here. So yc, since of course we already know that yc, what is the standard form for yc, or for distinct roots. So this is a distinct root. So we have here the c sub 1 e to the power of 4x plus c sub 2. Since this is distinct, so we don't have to put x, and it is not repeated also, and also not an imaginary, so this would be the standard form for this equation. So we have c sub 2 e to the power of negative x, since just negative 1, so we could just simply put negative x here. So this would be our yc. So now we're gonna find for yp. So in yp, we're gonna observe the term here. So as what you can observe, it is a constant, so we're just gonna substitute it as an imaginary constant, that is letter a. So our y sub p is equal to, we're just gonna substitute it to a, so this will become a e to the power of x. So in order to get the value for the y prime, we're just gonna derive this. So this will become y prime p is equals to the derivative of a e to the power of x is just simply the same, of course, because as what you can observe, the equation the exponent here is just 1, so we're just gonna copy this. This will become a e to the power of x, also the y double prime p is equal to a to the power of a e to the power of x. So now we're gonna substitute it from this equation. So we have y double prime, which is this value here, is equal to a e to the power of x. And then we have 3y prime, so this would be minus 3. Our y prime here is the same, so a e to the power of x. And then the next term is negative, also minus 4y. Since our y here is just the same, so this would be a e to the power of x is, and then equate it to 30 e to the power of x. Now we have two combined like terms here. So there is an imaginary one here, and then we have negative 3 and 4, so we're gonna add them all, and we're gonna have the equal of negative 6. Yeah, because negative 4 plus negative 3 is just simply negative 7 plus 1 is, it would be equal to, or we're just gonna subtract it, so we are left with negative 6 e to the power of x times a. Since we are looking for the value of a, so we're gonna separate that in order to avoid confusion. So this would be equal to 30 e to the power of x. So we're gonna divide both sides by negative 6 e to the power of x, then negative 6 to the power of x. So this would cancel, so we're left with a is equal to 30 divided by negative 6. So since this would gonna cancel, so we only have negative 5 left here. So now we're gonna, since this is the yp, so, and we already find the value of a, so we're just gonna substitute it here. So RA is negative 5, so our YP would be equal to negative 5e to the power of x. So that would be our YP. Now, in order to get the Y, we're gonna add these two equations that we have solved. So we now have, so we're gonna follow this sequence. So we have Y is equal to, first we're gonna have c sub 1 e to the power of 4x, sorry, yeah, short of space, so we're just gonna rewrite. So y is equal to c sub 1 e to the power of 4x plus c sub 2 e to the power of negative x. Now we're gonna add the yp, which is negative 5 e to the power of x. So this is our final solution for this non-homogeneous equation in method of undetermined coefficient.